Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between ThorZaIN and WSB. This game taking place here on Northern Isle. Alright, looks like ThorZaIN spawning as the teal human player on the bottom left-hand side. Going to be going for the Archmage. He's going up against WSB, who is going for a Farseer. Alright, slow things down. Game is already at that 2-minute mark due to, well, being able to fast forward through those first 2 minutes. No one needs to see a bunch of buildings just being placed down relatively early. All right, Voodoo Lounge quickly placed down a proxy Voodoo Lounge and gonna get cleaned up there. Peon getting taken down and giving a bit of bonus experience to the Archmage already. This Ogre Warrior creep camp will get cleared up. Militia are here to try and finish things off. Ice Troll now taken down as the Archmage picks up Claws of Attack +5. Blizz Microsoft should really make me an official caster so I can do it. Well, so thanks for the kind words, Equix. But being an official caster doesn't, even if I wanted to do it for a living, I don't know if I could, just because, well, it's self-promotion. Like there has to be a very, very big community and a big, well, thanks for the kind words. I agree. I've listened to replays forever since you downloaded the files, audio separated, and had to batch them, and not many have ever been as good, to be honest. Thanks. All right, coming back around. Farseer, you're going to go ahead and try and engage here, continuing to poke apart that Archmage. Archmage now retreating back as well, as the Farseer is doing his best to just constantly harass. Now getting caught up on a frog. So randomly, sometimes frogs just jump across the battlefield here on Northern Isle, tripping things up like giant 300-pound wolves with 100-pound, 150-pound riders, or 180-pound riders if you consider all of their armor as well. I think if Blizzard remade their esports section and there was actually a bit of like promotion and other things in addition to casting, it would be interesting, but it would be a tough sell to try and give up my job as a consultant. To be frank and honest. Anyways, coming back through, Spirit Wolves quickly getting cleaned up there, as we are going to be going into a blacksmith and rifleman. ThorZaIN known to go for well, rifleman, focus things down and have that paladin opening. Meanwhile, Archmage going to try and poke apart here. Cloak of Shadows picked up by the Farseer, still sitting at level 1, and we are going for this mass headhunter Farseer type strategy, as we see a beautiful deny right there on a lone headhunter. Well, there's sportscasters doing it for a living. Yeah, well, sportscasters, when your players are earning $40 million a year, the sportscasters, you know, they're not earning $40 million a year, but that just goes to show you the difference in the game, right? In the best of the best is earning $40 million in that league. There's enough money to go around to pay your sportscasters as well. I don't think the total prize pool of all of the professional players of WarCraft 3 is $40 million a year. Crota would need a mustache to fit the picture. All right, coming back through, Ice Troll Warlord going to get taken down. Farseer sitting at level 2. Meanwhile, Tech to Tier 2 is nearly done for the Orc. Tech to Tier 2 already done for ThorZaIN, as he has picked up that Panda. Level 1 Panda out here on the battlefield. Talisman of Evasion. Could stay on the Brewmaster, making him a bit more of a scary frontline hero, as he will be ducking and dodging some of those attacks early on, making him harder to kill. Yeah, coming back around here, well, wolves being used to soak up a damage while the headhunters are poking around, and the Farseer is actually getting a bit of long distance experience during this time. This has been a strategy that I've seen more and more Orc players use recently to try and, well, have a better awareness, map awareness, and, well, trying to clean the things up and not allowing the other player to just, well, play their game completely free. Now, Brewmaster sitting at level 2, dual Talisman of Evasion, dual Circlets of Nobility on that Archmage. One Talisman of Evasion should definitely be sold, as that evasion ability does not stack. Tauren Totem now getting trained or built up, as well as we are going to be going into a Tauren Chieftain as that second hero. Headhunters, well, just trying to focus down all of these Tuskar creep camps here. Going to be an easy time. Meanwhile, the Panda is already at level 3. And interestingly enough, Archmage needs to make its way over, perhaps trying to get in a little bit more experience as well. Giving the Circlets of Nobility to the Brewmaster also makes quite a bit of sense, as he does need quite a bit more hit points and quite a bit of mana. Circlet of Nobility is going to get transferred off over there. And, well, it looks like, yep, 2 Circlets of Nobility getting transferred to the Brewmaster, who will be using plenty of Breath of Fire. All right, Breath of Fire right there. Farseer now coming back across, going to try and steal a bit of experience. Does, I believe, exactly that. Now backing away, that Chain Lightning bouncing across multiple targets, as the Null Assassin going to be getting in some damage there. Farseer trying to finish or get in a couple of easy kills there. Archmage gets to level 3. And now 2 level 3 heroes for ThorZaIN, chasing after the Tauren Chieftain and Farseer, as the Farseer looks to back up. All right, ThorZaIN sitting at 51/60 supply, should perhaps try and cancel, well, take down one of his own peasants, as one of those peasants actually making overall gold worse. Archmage now making his, well, pressure and presence known off to the north, going to try and put some pressure down here. Archmage and Brewmaster ready to move on in once more, and here we are, mass headhunters. There's a Breath of Fire going across the north here, trying to blow things over. Archmage now looking to retreat back. Tauren Chieftain pushing in a little bit of damage again, as the Book of the Dead was used. All right, Priest do have the spell. Perhaps if we saw the spell, we could see a little bit more level up there, as we see a big Breath of Fire going across the north side here. No Scroll of Healing. Spirit Link is being cast to try and, well, spread out some of that damage. But the Brewmaster with Scroll of Healing, and, well, it should be able to get off more Breath of Fire. There's 2 Headhunters once more burned down, but the Scroll of Healing on the Brewmaster could be in trouble, down to 256 hit points after a Scroll of Healing used there, as that Brewmaster ends up surviving. Priest needs to auto heal up on that Brewmaster extremely quickly if he's going to continue to dive on in with those Breaths of Fire. A lot of low hit point units coming back across here. Are we going to see a bit of an engagement? More Breath of Fire trying to focus down another unit there, as we see a Scroll of Healing used, or a healing salve used on that Berserker. All right, more damage coming back across here. Voodoo Lounge going to try and get blown over. There's another Breath of Fire continuing to rack up more damage. Lightning Shield onto the Priest. They're going to go ahead and separate just a little bit, as the Brewmaster is getting into position once more. The Brewmaster's Breath of Fire, that cone damage is actually rather large. Actually surprised that ThorZaIN didn't come back around and go in this direction for that Breath of Fire to try and take down more of these units. Tauren Chieftain now continuing to chase after many of those priests, as the Brewmaster has enough mana, well, doesn't even need any more Breaths of Fire, as the main majority of WSB's army is gone. However, Taurens are now joining out onto the battlefield as we are going into Fortress, and I was not expecting Taurens. Taurens with their 1,300 hit points is exactly the type of unit you want to go up against a strong AoE damage. Those mass Berserkers are not going to work out well, and the Taurens, while they're in that frontline spot, could use that Pulverize. They should have a weaker version of Pulverize right now and, well, deal bonus damage against all of those riflemen. All right, Panda continuing to back around here. Needs to get quite a bit of healing. There's some Pulverize finally hitting the table there, as the Brewmaster at 363 hit points still dancing around. All right, more Taurens are joining out onto the battlefield. Tauren Chieftain with a Ring of Regeneration, able to regenerate quite a bit of hit points. There's a little bit more damage. Breath of Fire could finish off a Tauren. Tauren trying to retreat back, but there is no fountain here on Northern Isle like there is in Secret Valley, as the Scroll of Town Portal goes down onto the Brewmaster. All right, did the Tauren actually fall? No, Tauren ends up staying alive at 84 hit points, able to back away. A couple of healing salves, and that Tauren Chieftain, or that Tauren, will be back to normal. Tauren Chieftain going to be, well, need some healing salve action as well. Ring of Regeneration. The Chieftain actually having less hit points than a standard Tauren. 30 to 36 damage, 30 to 40 damage, but does have Endurance Aura and that, important Stomp to try and rack up quite a bit of damage. We are looking at that Pulverize damage increase and then with that damage increase, perhaps more lasting damage will be affecting all of these riflemen here, as we're going to 50 over 60 supply compared to 38 over 51, and ThorZaIN looking to set up an expansion. Brewmaster with, well, +6 to every single stat, extra mana, extra damage, extra hit points, extra faster attack, all of that happening there with 3 Circlet of Nobilities and 2 Claws of Attack. All right. Archmage coming back through. Farseer, well, may be forced to try and use a Scroll of Town Portal. Doesn't have a Scroll of Town Portal. Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 3. Going to pick up, well, Warsong Battle Drums. This will help damage overall, as we don't actually have, I do not believe we have any bestiary on the table anywhere, so that a little bit of bonus damage will in fact help. Tauren Chieftain now a walking damage buff in addition to a walking movement speed buff and a walking attack speed buff as well. Tauren Chieftain making its way through, well, once more. Taurens now making their way back off to the north here. Tauren Chieftain, Farseer, level 4, level 3. Level 4, level 3. Wow. 200 gold for a consumable. Yep. All right, ThorZaIN has an expansion set up on the south side here. It looks to be well protected. Meanwhile, WSB opting to go for a single base orc strategy while going for tauren. Not something I've seen very often, as we are also getting the Adept Walker training. If we could actually start getting into, well, the Spirit Walkers being able to resurrect the taurens after they are taken down, that is, well, a roundabout way of being able to make up the economic advantage that ThorZaIN has obtained through this town hall. However, ThorZaIN, remember, is sitting in low upkeep right now, so it's only 14 gold a second compared to 10. Not that big of a difference, but that will continue to grow. The bigger issue is going to be when ThorZaIN and WSB start to finally fight against each other. The army of ThorZaIN is just going to be that much larger. All right, Web Spinner is going to get taken down here. We see how many tauren is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tauren out here onto the battlefield, and we don't see ThorZaIN transitioning into any sort of air army. We don't see a Griffin Aviary. We don't see a tech to tier 3. As the Panda now going to dive on in here, and all of these Orc Burrows, they do not have the War Mill upgrade for fortified armor. The Priest, the Sorceress are actually getting involved in on the battle, knowing that they can supply block their opponent pretty easily and quickly. ThorZaIN is just pushing on in here, causing problems. Chain Lightning now coming in from the back as the fortified armor finally completed right there, but it may be too little, too late, as Orc Burrow after Orc Burrow is falling. All right, this is pretty much an all-in situation. Invisibility, Lightning Shield now diving on in. Are we going to see more Lightning Shields getting applied to multiple units? Chain Lightning bouncing around, and ThorZaIN's army actually going to take quite a bit of damage, but the Lightning Shield was, in fact, dispelled in time before any more units were lost. Level 4 on the Farseer, level 4 on the Tauren Chieftain. 4 Orc Burrows being rebuilt at the same time as the Taurens now heading back off to the north here, perhaps trying to get to level 5 for that Farseer. Kagar's Pipe of Insight, a beautiful item for the Farseer, getting in a bit more mana regeneration, and also the Tauren Chieftain having a bit more mana regeneration as well. I think Orc is going to pressure the Expo really soon, or something high pressure is going to happen. Yeah, I believe, I know we had Adept training on a Spirit Walker. I don't know if we've had Mastery training on a Spirit Walker as of yet. Also, we are low on lumber. This was a concern as well. You can see WSB only has 6 workers right now, and he needs to build all of these Orc Burrows just so he can retrain up his workers, and he still needs lumber in addition to gold. WSB is very much set back here, as he was unable to mine for quite a bit of time, especially with being supply blocked and not being able to train up additional peons. Tauren Chieftain and the Farseer now making their way down across into the south. There's that Breath of Fire, but the Panda now sitting at level 5, dealing big damage across the board to all of these units here. Headhunt or Berserkers, 475 hit points. That is a decent chunk of damage if they get hit by even just one breath of fire. Especially if they're standing too close together, that could go the wrong way. Tauren Chieftain gets breath of fire, burn down Panda, now looking to back up. We're looking at Brilliance Aura recharging up that Brewmaster, and as that cooldown comes to an end, you better believe ThorZaIN has plans to try to blow them over again. All right, mastery training now for coming across from WSB. This could be very interesting indeed if we just have, 3 or 4 Spirit Walkers with mastery training. Suddenly, the game shifts. ThorZaIN sees that there's a single tower here, and ThorZaIN must be considering his options. He must be trying to figure out what exactly his opponent is trying to do. This is a large army by ThorZaIN, sitting at 70 over 72 supply. Could get into the mid 70s before finally pushing out to attack. There are better items on the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain with those claws of attack. With that Orb of Lightning, being able to also purge and proc onto water elementals to try and shut them down. Bonus damage, Brilliance Aura on the Farseer, and with the Spirit Walkers constantly getting trained up, that could be a very big deal indeed. All right, Wand of Lightning Shield, healing salves going around back and forth. Wand of Lightning Shield picked back up. We're looking at 52 supply over 61. And, do we even see a Spirit Walker yet? No, I don't even see a Spirit Walker, even though we have mastery training already completed. Army gonna try and get lined up here, and ThorZaIN is in no rush right now. He knows that with his economic advantage, he can push into an 80 supply army and then push across his opponent's base. Still keeping track. Spirit Walkers are finally getting trained up there. There's one Spirit Walker with mastery training. They could be making their way out here onto the battlefield in just a moment. Slow is also available there. Chain Lightning is going to be interesting as we are looking at level 3 Chain Lightning over level 3 Wolves. The Farseer also has a decent auto attack with plus 21 damage, dealing 60 damage per attack. There's that Breath of Fire coming across, and with no easy way to heal those Taurens, things could go sideways quickly. All right. Perhaps WSB was so excited to see, Fountains of Health back onto the map pool. He wants to try and go for Taurens, but Taurens need a place to heal. Healing salves don't really cut it enough. I guess you could kill them off and then let the Spirit Walker try and resurrect them, as damage is now coming back across here. Tauren, Panda able to back away. Tauren Chieftain, even with that faster movement speed, unable to close in on that distance. Now, ThorZaIN is really just sticking to these narrower corridors and pathways to try and engage the fight. Meanwhile, WSB is trying to force an engagement and a fight out here on the open plain, allowing these Taurens to, get within a melee range quickly, flank their opponent, and perhaps just surround and push in on their targets. The ranged units, because of how WarCraft works and them not having to worry about shooting past their own and causing a little bit of friendly fire, wants to fight in the tighter corridors and just continue to engage. All right, here we go, Taurens. Are we going to see perhaps a stomp or anything right there? There is a little bit of damage onto that Brewmaster down to 1,000 hit points. Really not down at all, as we're going to be going into an engagement here. All right, there is the Tauren taking quite a bit of damage. There's a Breath of Fire. Are we going to perhaps see some Pulverize go down? Yes, we are. Chain Lightning ripping through some of that army, as well as the units will be forced to try and retreat back. There's a couple of disenchants as the Spirit Walkers are going to try and, use that Mastery Resurrection. Tauren Chieftain continuing, gets dispelled right there. Are we going to see, yes, Taurens are just getting resurrected back out here onto the battlefield. Chain Lightning ripping on through. Now going to be pushing on again. Spellbreakers now trying to cause some problems as another Tauren is resurrected again. This is the way to try and, make up for that economic advantage. This is the way, as the Tauren Chieftain now continuing to push across out here onto the battlefield. Spirit Walkers, however, do have relatively low mana, as another own Tauren now taken down to get resurrected and healed back up. All right, tauren continuing to get healed back up as the units are now looking to retreat back. The Spirit Walkers are low on mana, trying to fall back, but there is slow across multiple taurens. Brewmaster trying to get in more damage across these units as well. There's a big breath of fire across multiple units again as one Spirit Walker gets blown over. All right, Spellbreaker is going to get taken down. Tauren Chieftain in that frontline spot. Stomp is not going to really work out all that well, but does get a stomp out onto the Brewmaster. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, Breath of Fire coming back across the other way. Taurens are now in that frontline spot as one Tauren going to get taken down, but now getting resurrected as well. Spirit Walkers still need quite a bit more mana again as we're looking at the Water Elementals. Well, perhaps going to get purged down. Chain Lightning bouncing, finding their targets. Tauren Chieftain pushing back the other way. There goes a giant stomp right there. Pulverized, really finding their damage and finding their flow as we're looking at a little bit more damage coming back across here. 66 supply compared to 45 as the Taurens are retreating. 50 over 61 supply. More Taurens are getting resurrected. A Tauren getting blown over again. This is constantly giving more and more experience to all of these targets here as the Brewmaster does have a potion of mana. Could be losing another pair of Taurens or waiting for them to just get resurrected. All right, Taurens are just constantly, the Spirit Walkers are constantly just getting trained up. And because of the battlefield, you train up a Spirit Walker and you get another Tauren. So there you go. There is another Spirit Walker getting resurrected right there. He's trying to get enough mana to then resurrect these two Taurens here. And this is forcing ThorZaIN to fight in this corridor, or at least stand guard in this corridor here. Meanwhile, because of the Pipe of Insight, these Spirit Walkers have a bit more mana than they would normally in a standard Orc game. More Spirit Walkers, the Spirit Walkers need to stay close to that Farseer if they want to be able to continually resurrect. And I am surprised we're not training up more Spirit Walkers now to try and get back the corpses that were lost here. All right, there's still some corpses here. I do not know how long they last on the battlefield. It looks like those Taurens may be lost forever in the ice of Northern Isles. All right. Low hit point Tauren right there could end up getting shut down. We are looking at a tiny Great Hall being placed down by WSB to try and make up for that economic advantage now. Still, Tauren, more items going to get trained up. More Spirit Walkers out here onto the battlefield. 3 Spirit Walkers, 2 Taurens, and the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain wants a little bit more mana. Meanwhile, what is going on here? Panda sitting at level 5 with 450 mana should be able to cause quite a bit of problems as we see ThorZaIN, yes, now naturally transitioning into Griffins and that air army. All right, Griffins 1-0 upgrades should be able to burst down these Taurens rather quickly. And WSB, hats off, a valiant effort. But with Griffins now joining in on the battle and ThorZaIN pushing this fight into the stratosphere, climbing the ladder of taxes, now in high upkeep, sitting at 93 over 96. All right, what's scarier than Griffins going up against Taurens? It is invisible Griffins going up against Taurens, and that's exactly what we have in store now. The Taurens, is going to see what hits them, and then, pretty much going to end up getting taken out in a quick moment. Going to try and engage here. The Panda nearly at level 6. If we have a level 6 Panda, you got to believe Earthstorm and Fire are going to be on the table. Let's go ahead. There's a Breath of Fire right there. Griffins are just standing off to the side and now going after some of those targets as well. But Headhunters, Berserkers are all right there. There's going to be some Chain Lightning bouncing around here. That is a lot of Griffins in the air. Staff of Sanctuary saving up one of those Griffins. Taurens getting resurrected. Breath of Fire trying to blow things over even further as some of those Griffins could end up getting taken down as well. Low hit point Griffins trying to retreat back. Chain Lightning bouncing across here. More Taurens still getting resurrected as the Panda is now at level 6 going into Earthstorm and Fire. All right, Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 4 here. Inner Fire on those Griffins to try and add up more damage, and that is going to become too much there. Farseer falls at level 5. Tauren Chieftain is probably going to be next, and that is the game. ThorZaIN playing a calm and cold calculating game, making sure to not overexpose himself and try to constantly fight in favorable locations. Once WSB really tipped his hand with Mass Tauren, ThorZaIN opted to go into tier 3 and had invisible Griffins to try and, well, finish things off. A lot of damage done there, and ThorZaIN just being able to win that match. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.